Happy Flosstube Friday, friends. My name is Kari. This is Tiger Lily Designs. Welcome to Flosstube episode 121. Welcome, friends. Happy Friday to you. I'm so excited to finally be back here to share what I have been up to, what I've been making, stitching, quilting, knitting, crafting. Oh my, so many things on the table to share with you. Let's just dive right in. As I love to do, I have a little bit of a table of contents. To be honest with you, it's probably going to be a little ping pong, pinball machine, a little all over the place, but I'm going to try to stay to the table of contents. Let me tell you what we've got tuned in for today. We do have 3 fully finishes, actually 4 fully finishes. Totally forgot about one. 3 framed, 1 finish to share with you. I've been working on WIPS galore like you don't even know. It's been a month, so I've got some stitches to share. I've got knitting, I've got haul, I've got quilting, I've got Tiger Lily shop update. You know how long this video is already. I don't know. I just started. I'm a minute in. This could be an Avatar length movie, but I don't know. We're just going to dive right in. I'm just going to start showing you some stitching eye candy, and we're going to bits and bobs and piddle away through this pile on the studio table right now and just take it as we go in little bite-sized pieces. So let's dive in. Let's dive into the finishes first, shall we? So I've got 3 finishes. 3 have been 4. All of which were finishes that I've shown you in the past, but now they're all fully finished. So it's super fun to see them come to life from just a fabric into what they're going to be when they grow up, right? So my most exciting, not my most exciting, but the one that's been so excited you guys have loved is Lily the Frog. Yes. I'm addicted to animal crackers. I need a shirt. I need a support group. I don't. Let's just all be friends. But I love Lily. I love all the animal crackers. Let's be honest. I will have some I have some WIP animal crackers to share with you, but I did get Lily fully finished. I showed you guys the finish of the stitching last episode, which was eons ago. But before I went in for surgery, I was able to film my finishing video. I promised it to you guys and I got it. Yay! I filmed a finishing tutorial because sometimes people are a little scared. This is not hard. I promise you. I promise you. This I finished completely with the sewing machine. So if you are going to hand stitch your animal crackers because you don't have a sewing machine or you don't feel comfortable using your sewing machine, I'm not your girl. Use your directions. Stacy Nash does have some great directions in all of her, I think all of them, in the animal cracker patterns and the charts. But I finish with a sewing machine. I quilt, so I have a sewing machine. I'm pretty familiar with it. It's not hard sewing machine, but you do have to know how to use yours and the bobbins and things and all the things. But I did a tutorial of showing you guys how I did it. Now, where can you get access to this tutorial? Right now, today, it is still exclusive only for my Patreon members. I will have that link down below. You can join my Patreon and grab the video. Now, this was an exclusive for Patreon for about 45 days. On May 1st, I will make the tutorial video live for public consumption here on YouTube. So it's just a matter of whether you want to wait or whether you want to go grab it now. Do you have some crackers to finish? All my crackers are finished the same way with a secret pocket in the back behind, and you'll know why when you watch the video. But it's great because there's no hand sewing around the seam. You never get, sometimes you get those, when you finish a pillow or you get a hand sew your stuffing hole. There's none of that here. So that is so I've got Lily the Cracker. She is super finished. These are 2, I think, Tilda Sanctuary fabric quarters. I love Tilda. So the Tilda is right here. This is my collection. I love just to grab a 2 Tilda. So this is, in case you don't know, this is the Stacy Nash Animal Cracker Lily. This was new from market. I stitched mine on 36 count Moonstone from Fiber on a Whim. I did a little bit of a floss conversion, kind of pulled from stash. We talked about it last time. I have a cracker ring of floss that I just pull from. So they all kind of coordinate. So you see Clementine her right there. Her dress is antique rose, and so Miss Lily's frog dress is also antique rose. I love the variegation that the hand-dyed floss gives you, a little movement in the textile of the fabric, but she is super sweet. Love her finish. So that is finish number 1. My next 3 finishes are all framed finishes, and I'm super excited to share it with you because, again, you can do it. I love finishing. I love stitching big things. I love stitching small things, but sometimes it's cost prohibitive to get things framed, right? You take them to a custom framer and it's a little, it dives into our stitching budget. And so I'm always team DIY. Now there's 2 different ways of doing DIY, and I've done them both. I have done both the power tool. I go and thrift a frame and I'll cut it down to size and do all the things. That takes a little more, that's a labor more intensive. It's cheaper, right? Because you can thrift a frame for, $5, $10, $15, depending on how big it is. But then you have to break out the power tools and the saws and the pinch things. It's a little more labor intensive. And to be honest with you, in true transparency, winter time is not when I want to pull out my power tool and stand in the driveway in my winter coat and deal with all that stuff. So what I decided is I would treat myself to option 2 with DIY. Now, option 2 with DIY is to order the frames, but get it fully finish it yourself, right? So we all know Lori Holt has a fantastic, like hands down, nobody needs to do another one, lacing tutorial video. If you don't know, I will link it down below. It is the best one, hands down, teaching you how to lace your stitches. Small or medium or large, the concept's the same, slow and steady, gets it done, and she has a great tutorial. Now, you can go to Hobby Lobby, you could go to Michael's, you could go to Joann's, look at their frames, and that's the great advantage to them is you can actually touch and feel and see the frames. With that advantage comes a little bit of cost. Now, I have used a website called Art2Frame. I will link them down below, and this is my second time using them. The first time I used them was for Mary Morgan's, my big birthday start from eons ago. She's beautiful. I loved it. And so this time I ordered 3 frames, and it was cost prohibitive. They can't ship alone, right? So I was like, well, if I'm going to order 1, I might as well order 3. So I ordered 3 smallish samplers that have been in my need to be finished pile. And so I decided this is the time I'm going to do it. So I ordered the frames. Now I will talk about how I measure, because I think math, as we all know, counting's hard, but math is hard too. And that's that the people are worried about measuring wrong. And that is the biggest hurdle to get over. But it's not hard. It's not hard. I promise. I promise. But let me show you some of the finishes, and then we'll talk a little bit about the measurements and how I did the math. And then we can talk about more. If you want me to do a tutorial, I have something else that's real close to needing a custom frame, and I will do a step-by-step measurement, ordering the whole, from start to finish video tutorial. If that's something you're looking for, let me know in the comments down below. But let's just dive into some pretty eye candy. So first is Delia Conger. Now this was a release from Shelley Antique Needleworkers back in her launch. So August of last year, this was one of her initial launches. Delia Conger, love this sweet, sweet little sampler. Now, as you can see, it's got beautiful, she did a true to, I don't know if she pictures, no, she didn't show a picture of the antique. She chose colors that were very similar to the antiques. In true Tiger Lily fashion, I did a Tiger Lily twist. And so what I did is I pulled 4 Vicki Clayton silks that I had used in the Pear Rose Hands Across the Sea. It was Alicia's Fancy Flow Flamingos, her birthday sal. The giant, it's the pear and the giant house, and there's rose, and they're all like the same size, which is hilarious to me. Anyway, so Vicki Clayton silks. I pulled 3, a red, a pink, and a green that were from that collection. Let me just show you. And here she is, super, super sweet. So you can see right here, this is the frame I chose. It's a beautiful, like I said, they were all from Art2Frame. And I measure for an approximate 1/2 inch to 3/4, depending on the math, margin around the whole piece. So you can see right here, this is the framed finish. And here's my lacing back. I'm not afraid to show you my back. So this is using, like I said, the Lori Holt Queen of Lacing tutorial. I use the doll needles from Hobby Lobby. Crochet thread. I went and rated one of my buckets for thread, for yarn. It's kind of like crochet yarn. It doesn't have to be white. She uses white or ivory. I had blue, so you never see it. It's on the back. So here she is right here. She is so sweet. And so I just love it. It's just a perfect frame around it. And that's the great thing about ordering custom frames is you get perfect margins for not the crazy money if you get it custom framed. Okay, and so that was one that I did. I was super excited to get. So this is all 3 pieces. I'm going to have like a women of my family. I'm not quite sure what I'm calling it yet. But these are the 3 anchor pieces for a sampler wall. There's lots of pinks, lots of reds, shocker. And they're all going to have different names. So you can see like this one. This is my mother, Linda Elaine, 1951. This was the original. This was the one I did first. And so I wanted to, she gets the first one. And that's why I customized it. Like I said, I did a Vicky Clayton custom conversion compared to Shelly's Antique, which is pinks and blues. Super cute burr sampler if you want. But it doesn't have to be. Obviously, I made it for my mom. And so the next one was super fun. This, oh, I have the chart to show you. Okay, so this one has been around a while. It's in one of my heart bags, and you'll know why in a minute. So this is A Note of Love, Hannah Rome. So sweet, right? So this is a chart by Running with Needles and Scissors. I did a custom floss conversion. Here's my project tracker card. It shows you that I converted from DMCs and I did a full Forbidden Fiber Co conversion. I just love Leanne's floss and pulling from stash. So I was able to do that. And Shelly and I started this, let's see, in May of 2024. So last May when we were together for the Hands Across the Sea when I was out in Ohio, we started this together and I just finished it this month. It took me, it was a quick stitch, but I had to figure out how I was going to customize it. And I did, and it's framed and I love it so much. Again, art to frame, but a 1/2 inch margin. So sweet. It's all 30. This is 36 count Atomic Ranch. Joy Lynn is the red. There's a really cool, Lap and Lutz has a great red. I forget what it's called. But this is also a beautiful red linen if you're looking for red linen for a sampler or for Christmas stitching. And this one I went ahead and I customized with my grandmother's name, Helen Mercedes. And you can't really see it on the screen, but it's got her birth and death date over 1. My favorite, over 1. And so that one is this. And then again, now I am going to put some scrapbook paper on the back to cover up this lacing. But the great thing with art to frame is they do send you, how I order it, I do, as you can see, there's no glass. I don't do any glass on my framing. So that cuts down the cost, as well as I have them send me an acid-free foam core. So that's part of the options in their drop-down menus. So the foam core that I use is straight from them. It fits in perfectly. They have these, you know, screwdriver prop-up stays. I don't even know what they're called in the professional framing world, but then you can just lace it as is. Now I do put a layer of batting, just like Lori does, right there on the foam core, and then I lace my piece to the foam core. And it's, look at, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to toot my own horn because, you know, but it's pretty daggone straight, and it's just slow and steady, laces the piece. And it's not hard. The hardest part, like I said, is doing the math to make sure that you get your even margins all around. But it's not hard, and I love it. And I loved Sylvia used a nice black, kind of antique-y looking frame, and I thought it looked really great. So when I was on Art to Frame, I tried to find something that was similar, and you can see it's got a little bit of kind of distressy red on the floral. It almost looks like it has a fillet, lots of extra, not that much extra in the budget. And then last but not least is my birthday start from 2024. Okay, I I had to do some math in my head. 2024, I started Ann Richardson. Yes. Ann Richardson from My Sister's Sampler. So many of you stitched along with me. I loved it. Again, I was completely drawn to it because of the beautiful pinks, right? This just screamed Kari if there was a sampler that did. And again, I just framed this myself. I just tried to pick a frame I loved. And I thought it would look really great in this antique-y. Now, again, remember, I'm going to have an antique-y wall, and they're all going to frame together. They don't have to match. I'm not all matchy-matchy. And so I'm excited that I'm mixing tones of golds and kind of muted brushed nickel-y type and then black, and they're all going to be different, but I think that's what looked great with the piece. So again, it was just about doing the math, and I loved this little gold bubble with the distressed kind of rubbed edge on the back. Again, I tried to do my 1/2 inch margin all around. I think it looked pretty good. For the squaring, there's my back. Yeah, not hard. And I love it. I love it. And so this one, I was talking to my mom. I was like, well, I just don't have to personalize. Who in the family is going to get this one? And she goes, that one has to be yours. And so I said, okay. So I did go ahead and put my full name on here, and then my birthday, 1976, 131. And so this one is mine. I'm on the wall too. And so I was excited to get on the wall. So I do have to get more. I have lots of grandmas and aunts and things to put on the wall. So now that I've got 3, now I'm like hooked. I need to find more cute little samplers that I can put in pinks and reds and add to the wall. So these were my 3 finishes from art to frames. Now I should have, so like I said, I got 3 frames sent to me, no glass, with foam core, custom sizes. You can see the sizes, right? So the 3 of these frames, I think all 3 of them shipped to me was less than $100 for all 3, which I think is pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. It might have been less than 80, but I don't want to quote exactly. And obviously it depends on the frame you pick. Like if you pick something, each molding costs differently. And you know that if you go to Hobby Lobby or whatever. But I think getting 3 pieces framed, and just, all I have to do is put some either craft paper, brown paper, or scrapbook paper, leave it as is. Who's going to look at my back? And now I can get them on the wall. It does come with hangers. I didn't attach the hangers yet. I'm more of a command strip type of girl because I'm better than putting holes in the wall. So those are my 3 framed finishes. So I also have 2 stitch finishes to share with you that I haven't fully finished yet. I should whip them up real quick because it doesn't take very long, but I haven't yet. So let's just look at them. Now, like I admitted earlier when we were talking about Lily, I'm a little bit hooked to the crackers. So here is Theodore, AKA Frankie, because, Lily's cat just looks just like this cutie. And I have him finished. Where is he? Let me pop him on a design board so you can see. He is ready to go. This is Frankie, aka Theodore. So fun. Now I did do a full Tiger Lily floss conversion. The card is not there. The orange, I think, is from Stuart Moore Textiles. It was part of one of my boxes a couple years ago, I think. And then the purple is a Forbidden Fiber coat that I pulled that I just love. I gave him green eyes because Frankie has green eyes. But other than that, he is ready to go. Now, do I remember what he's stitched on? No, I'm thinking, I don't remember. Where's the tracker card? I'm thinking this was a Fox and Rabbit Mayflower scrap. Yes, 36 count. All my crackers are on 36 count because that's my sweet spot, and I love good fill-in. So this guy kept me company in the recliner during my recovery and got him done. He's going to be so sweet. He can't wait to live his best life right there with his cracker friends. Now, you can see the cat, right, Theodore? And I also got, which just cracks me up, the scale of these things cracks me up. The next one that I had fill-in ready, and I got fill-in finished, was Miss Millie. Now, there's a cat and there's an elephant. These are both on 36 count, friends. but that's just hilarious. Now, Millie is stitched on 36 count Atomic Ranch Latte. I used 2 Mo Silks. You can see right there. I keep them on playing cards. But those are the 2 main colors. Now, obviously, you can see right away I did a Tiger Lily conversion on them. I made this blanket throw on the chart, I think is greens. I wanted it to be purple and orange, and so I did a nice purple and orange. I loved using the Mo Silk hand-dyed silks, give him a little movement. He does look a little more stripy on the camera than he does in person. He just looks like he's got little wrinkles in person, which is perfect for this sweet little elephant. So I do want to get these 2 finished up lickety split and added to my cracker collection. I did haul the sweetest basket this week at a thrift store that I think is going to be the perfect cracker basket. Now I need all the crackers right now to live in this sweet little basket. Where the basket's going to go, TBD. But the moral of the story is this is super cute. So I want to get these guys finished. Again, I am addicted to the crackers. Let's just stay on crackers, shall we? Let me pull out my cracker keeper. Yes, don't worry, friends. Don't worry. The cracker keeper pattern is on the agenda soon. I can't say when, but hopefully soon. So what makes the cracker keeper awesome is it has 8 pockets, and in each pocket you can put like 2 or 3 crackers. And if you're like me and you have all the crackers, they need a place to live. So let's see. I did work on one other one since I was here last, other than those 2 finishes. Okay, it was Harrison. Not too much, but enough for me to, want to show you. So this is Sweet Harrison. Let me show you. He's also a jumbo. He's going to be like Frankie. The OG ones, I think, are bigger than the newer ones. Like Millie the elephant was totally new, and she's like this big, even though the cat's like this big. Anyway, so cute. I love them all. It doesn't matter. This is Harrison, one of the sweet little bunnies. I did a full floss conversion on him. I'm also stitching him on blue fabric, which I think is super, super fun. So he's getting a blue, and instead of green on green stripe, it's a blue on blue. It's mountain mist and deep sea, but he's feeling ready. So he got a little bit of fill in, but I am now going to start saving some fill in for some StitchCon fun. So yes, I'm super excited. I get to go to StitchCon A this year, and I'm saying I'm going. I mean, like, I've had enough juggling roadblocks to stop me from the fun, and I'm nope. So I'm saving some fill-in for StitchCon. I think I'll save Harrison. I'll probably start 1 or 2 more because the fill-in fun is what I'm going to do. So I loved that. So that's the cracker party. So let me clear off the table a little bit, and then we'll talk about some other WIPs. I have lots of progress on 2, 3, 4 other charts to share with you. Okay, are we ready? Let's talk about WIPs. So I had some finishes, but I also have lots of WIP progress to share. Now I did have 1 new start. I think that's the only new start that I started in the last month, and that was to join Tara from Sully Stitches for her birthday sale. Now, if you don't know, I mean, tons of people started that. This is the sweet little new chart. It was a new market chart from Brenda Gervais, a daily reminder. I loved this chart. It is so, so sweet. So Tara had her big birthday this year, and she picked this to start for her birthday. Now I'm keeping it in this. It's like one of my prized possession bags. My friend Catherine gifted me this at StitchCon last year. It's one of my favorite bags. It is so beautifully made. And of course you love Tula. I love Tula, and the Dresden plate. Oh my gosh, this is a label of, as a bag maker, I know how. Anyway, I wanted to show this bag because this was a beautiful gift from Catherine. Thank you. I hope I get to see you at StitchCon this year again. Okay, so I wanted to show you my bag. I showed you the chart. I did do a full floss conversion. Here is my tracker card. I do have this photographed on Instagram in case you wanted to know. I did a full floss conversion to Leanne at Forbidden Fiber Clothes. Let me pull out my floss drop, my floss ring. So I've got all my colors right here. This is what I love to do, just a little cheat sheet for you. This is the back of the chart. And so all I did was put it on my copy machine, I don't think I had to make it bigger. I think her back was pretty big. So I made it, and then I covered up what the called for was, right? And so then I printed it out, and I wrote down, these are my Leanne colors that go along with Leanne's numbers, right? 110, 110. And then because it's so skinny, it's just a piece of packing tape. Clear packing tape is my lamination. So it's not very fancy, but it's super convenient. So I don't have to go back and forth to go to my, oh, can't show you the chart. Go back to the card and look on the back and figure it all out. I keep it on the ring and I just copy paper, make it skinny enough, packing tape, hole, put it on your ring. And just so you know, Tara, not that you're watching, but I did put a Tara inspired bling on it. Tara and I have a love-hate relationship. I'm going to say all love. We're both, I'm not a South Carolina girl. I wish I lived in South Carolina. I live in Northern Virginia in Mount Vernon. Went to Clemson. Both my kids are in Clemson. If you don't know, the rivalry school in South Carolina is University of South Carolina. Their colors are red and black. So as my tribute to Tara and her birthday start, I did pick a floss bling that someone had gifted me. I'm going to guess at StitchCon in 2023. This red and black bling. So there's your little gamecock love, Tara. Yep. Okay. So that is my floss conversion. Now, there's one change that I do want to talk about, and I talked about it, I'm thinking, in a story on Instagram. Pretty sure. Sorry, sometimes I look out in the space but what am I stitching this on? I know that the fabric is also like a big point of, what are you doing? Lots of friends. I think Jessica is using Dirty Soil. I think a lot of people are using Dirty Soil by XJU, which is like impossible to get right now. I think Lindy Stitches had gotten a shipment in recently, but 36 sold out like this, but 32 and 40 I think were in stock. If so, I will link it down below. But I am using 36 count Lakeside Cedar Plank. Now this is just something I pulled from my linen box. It is not as dark as the cover. It's not as dark as the called for. It's not as dark as Dirty Soil, but I'm loving what it looks like, and that's what matters, right? It was great for my floss toss. Now, when I pulled from Leanne's colors, I tried to stay inspired, but I did brighten them up. I'm not as prim as some of these colors were called for, and so I brightened them up, just to give them a little punch. Now, the one thing I did on Instagram, and I'm polling, and it's still TBD, let me know what you think, is the blue. Now, sometimes when you do a floss conversion, they can look great when you just floss toss it, right? When you put it right on the linen, it looks great. But the colors are going to change when you actually stitch. And that's because I stitch 36 count. I always, hands down, always use one strand of floss. That's why I love 36 and 40, to be honest. Not so good at the 40 because of my eyes. But one strand of floss on 36 count is my sweet spot. That is my preferred sweet spot all day, every day. But sometimes the linen shows through a little bit, so it can kind of like morph and chameleonize. I'm making up words. It can kind of change, the colors can change, right? Okay. Anyway, so I'm going to show you, and I left it. I haven't picked it out because I haven't done anything since I took the poll except bring it out to iron. I did iron my WIPS for you today. Feel lucky. This is where I am. She is far. This was just a new start, beginning of April, mid-April, whenever Tara's birthday is Sunday. I started it that day. Immediately started right here with this flower pot. Loved it. And then, okay, and another change I am making. Let me see if I can show you. Let's see if it will. Okay, so I am not a Smyrna cross girl. Just not my jam. So instead, I made it harder on myself, and my entire alphabets are all eyelets. So it's, it's time consuming, but I love to do eyelets way more than I love to do Smyrnas. Now, you can see, here's my blue struggle. So this is supposed to have blue flowers, and that's kind of where I stopped because I stitched one blue. I forget which one I stitched. I pulled a blue when I put in my original floss toss, and I pulled a blue, and I was like, okay, this is great. And then when I went to stitch it, I was like, is it really that great? I don't know. So I went back to my Forbidden Fiber Co. designer ring and I pulled another blue. So the moral of the story is there's two blues there. And let's see. I actually think I might have gone and pulled a third blue because I'm extra. Let's see. Yeah, I've got 3 blues. Now, let's see what, let me pull it off the ring and put them on the thing, and we can talk about what I'm seeing. Can you see which is which? Maybe. They're all Forbidden Fiber Co., although one does have her old tag. So obviously this teal is this bright one in the middle. And then this one is this one. But then I went and pulled this one. Now it's got a little more gray. I'm not quite sure. I don't have a third door portal, a third door to put it in, but I think I might like that one better. I don't know. I need to stop overthinking it and just pick one. Pick one that I've done. Do the third one. What do you think? That's what stopped me. Stopped me in my tracks. I could have continued going. I mean, I'm so close. I just have to do the blue flowers, finish this one little tree. Blue flowers, tree, and the rest of the alphabets. Oh, and there's some like 1, 2, 3 alphabets. It's real quick. So this could be a finish next week if I just got off, if I just made a decision. Oh, pickles. Sometimes decisions are hard. Okay, so that is one of my WIPs from this week. The next WIP for this last month, I keep saying week because that's when I normally come back every week, is the Peacorn. Once I got out of the brain fog and I could do some counting, and I wanted to, the bright colors of the Peacorn were calling to me. So I keep this in this beautiful bag that Shelly gifted me. I love that antique quilt bag. And if you don't know, it's a peacock, a unicorn, and a badger that I affectionately call the Peacorn. I have this sweet little chart that I made myself because I'm a goober. And I want to just keep track of, I kind of gridded it into 20 different pages. Actually, I can color in page 1. I had a page finish this month, and so I've got the top quarter done. That's exciting, plus more. So if I just hunkered down, if I stayed focused and worked page by page, I'd probably have 2 more pages done. But I don't. I kind of like color complete / stitch what I want to stitch. So these are, I am using the Vicki Clayton silk conversion. I clip it to one of these Lori Holt design boards. It's my favorite way to keep my silk. And then I just put this one on top, and it slides right into the project bag that Shelly has made me. So let me just slide that right back. See, fits perfect. So again, I pulled out the Peacorn and got now where I was before, who knows? Who knows? But this is where I am now. So as you can see, like I said, the top quarter is somewhere like right here-ish, all complete, fully complete. I don't need to be in the picture. So there is the top quarter all done. So like I said, here is the second row, and I'm stopping right here at the page finish. So it's somewhere, this is row 2. And like I said, if I had just started on page 2 and just kept going left to right or even right to left, either way, I probably have 1 or 2 more page finishes, but that's not how I like to go. I like to just, you know, like if I have a pink, I'll do the pink, and then I'll color complete and do some pink over here, and then I'll finish until I run out. And so I kind of color complete / fill in / outline. It all kind of just depends on what kind of mood I'm in, whether I want to do fill in. Like, for example, someday I just filled in that. One day I just filled in this. And then I'm working on the tree. So I'm making progress. Now, if you remember back to my Stitchy goals for this for 2025 were to have 6 page finishes, 1 page per 2 months. Now, not that anybody's counting, I am 5 pages in, 5 pages complete. We're only in almost May. So I am so far ahead of the schedule. I love it so much. It's just because I love this stitch. I love this stitch so much. This is my jam. This is my style of stitching. It's just bright, beautiful colors, a little bit of fill-in, a little bit of outline. It's coloring with floss. It is my favorite all day long. I'm just going to leave that up there. Isn't that so pretty? I just love it. Now, for those who ask, and I do get people that ask me every time, I am stitching mine on a hand dyed by myself 36 count Zweigart linen. Now, because I just wanted to get the perfect green myself. Now, if you are interested, wanted to try your hand, I wouldn't try it on a half piece yard first. Try your hand at dye. It's all RIT dye. It's RIT dye, but it's a combination of, I think, 4 different colors of RIT dye, kind of like doing some kitchen chemistry, math, mixology, I don't know. I just played with dyes and colors and recipes, and I ended up with 3 or 4 different fabrics. I did this back in the fall. I shared it all on my Patreon, the exact recipe to dye this. RIT dyeing your own fabric is not hard. Again, I say that a lot. A lot of things are doable. You just have to, you know, pull up your pants and get it done. So I love this. I love doing it myself, creating the color. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have buckets and buckets of hand-dyed fabrics and linens by hand dyers. I appreciate beautiful, beautiful work. But it's one of those things where I kind of like micromanaged the green I want, and I couldn't be more happy. Couldn't be more happy with it. So if you love this green and you haven't started the Peacorn yet, maybe try your hand at my RIT dye. Like I said, it's part of my Patreon. That's part of my free Patreon, I think. The link is down below. You can get my recipe, get my how-to, how I dyed, all the things over there. And again, I give you a step-by-step, like measurements and timing and cooking and all the things. Right or wrong, it's just how I did it. And I think the linen turned out great. So that is the Peacorn. And then let's pull out 2 more WIPS. Now, I will pull out this one in true transparency. I didn't iron this one. Do you know what this one is? This was Anniversaries of the Heart. Now, this was a sale that Jessica Sweetwater and Stitcher and I started for 2025. And I'll be honest with you, she's deviated, I'm deviated, we're all deviating. That's what happens with sales, and I'm here for it. I didn't pull this one. I didn't iron it because, in true transparency, I only worked on it for 1 day. It's just not calling to me. It doesn't call to me like the Peacorn does. It just doesn't. I am working on fill-in. You can see I left a needle and a thread right there because I just stopped mid-stitch. I was like, nope, don't want to do it. And I switched gears and did something that I did want to do because it's a hobby and you should do what you want to do. So this is Anniversaries of the Heart. Right now, as is, I am stitching all 15 charts. Now there's 12 charts, 3 bonus charts, partridge in a pear tree, all the things. Jessica has gone from stitching 9 on 1 piece to now stitching 9 on 9 pieces. I'm kind of jealous that she was not so far, so she could switch. I can't switch right now. I could switch to a smaller piece. I don't know. But I love my keeper. This was a foundation paper piecing pattern that you can grab on my Etsy shop, my website. I don't remember exactly where it is, but I will link it down below. It's just this custom design. I had to make an Anniversary of the Heart exclusive keeper. Okay, last but not least was something I pulled out because I decided, okay, I need, not that I shouldn't just keep stitching the Peacorn, but as a floss tuber, I feel kind of obligated to come to you with more than 1 stitch a week. Now, again, it's been a month and I've had lots of stitches, so I could have just kept on going, but I wanted some variety in my stitching life, as well as I wanted to bring some variety to you in the floss tube world. So I pulled out an oldie but a goodie. It was one of those things where I think this one's going to be great for me to get set up for some fill-in, some StitchCon fill-in, right? Now, StitchCon is still, it's only like 6 weeks away, which is super exciting. But in this one, which is funny because I actually went back and I stitched on this at StitchCon last year. And if you look at my photo and where I was last year, not very far. But I'm going to get now goals. Do I dare say it out loud? I'm gonna. I would love to have this done by July 4th. Now, if you know, this one has been around since November of 2023. Shelly and I started this in Amana when we were together. Oh my gosh, I even have a hoop in here. I did a full bell soie conversion. Let me show you right here. Yeah. Again, it's kind of like my trick. This was, from the chart somewhere. Made it bigger, put it on the back of a card, there's my belle soise. Some people ask me, what does it mean when I do this / this? It means I'm using 2 different colors for that one symbol. I use 2 different colors. Same thing down here. That's the green. And so I wanted some more movement in my green. So I chose 2 greens, and this was a red. I use this anyway. So that's my belle soise. I keep them in this sweater tote bag. This was a sweater in its first life. Like, you know, you wear it sweater. And I made this sweet, this is back when I used to do artisan markets and sell products like this. But it's a little clamshell zipper pouch, and I kept this one so much because I loved it. It's very Christmas-esque. Oh, I just love it. So anyway, they're a hot mess, but they're all pretty in the bag. So that's how I'm managing those silks in a separate bag in my bag. But let's look at the stitching. Oh, I forgot. 36 count Lakeside exemplar, vintage exemplar. Yay, I remembered. So this is where she's at now. Now, if you saw her last, she had like half a house, no bricks, the fence wasn't finished, the star wasn't done, the flag wasn't there, the words weren't here, flowers weren't started, all the things. So I love the progress I have made with this so far. Right now, it's totally ready for grass fill-in, which is like grass for days. It's totally ready for this roof fill-in, roof for days. I need to put one more window right here, and that will be ready for fill-in. And also there's all the mortar for the bricks. So the bricks are ready for fill-in. The windows are ready for fill-in. This side house, which I think is all gray, is also ready. So this is like perfect. It's not perfect, but it's going to be Stitch Con fill in. I can talk for days because that's what I do, but yet still get some work done. Now I do want to, maybe in the meantime, if I want to get this done by July 4th, I do have to start working on, there's 2 different people. There's a tree, there's a flower, there's a border at the top. I'm nowhere near done, nowhere near it, but I'm closer than I was. So there's 3 flags. I've only done 1. I could totally do the next one right here. I should have done that when I was doing this one since I had it, but that's okay. I'm moving right along. So fun. This is a great stitch. Like I said, I would love to get this done. This is the one that I teased about that I could teach you all or show you. I'm not teaching anything. Share with you how I frame, how I measure, how I calculate, how I order, all the things on Art to Frame. This is the piece. So it's not going to be like next week, but it could be. If my goals are reached, it could be by July 4th. And I think I can do it. If I focus, I'm not a big focuser. I kind of squirrel with the best of them. And especially because we're going to talk about what I'm doing in May, which has nothing to do with working on this. So I don't know. We'll just have to. Okay, so those were all the actual things that I have stitched on since I was here last. But don't worry, there's lots of stitching eye candy left. There's haul and kindness and Market Mania. So let's stay in the stitching section of the video right now. So before we get too far, we're going to go into some stitchy haul / kindness. Now, one of the things that arrived since I was here last was this beautiful piece of fabric from Grace Notes Fabrics. Now, Corinne from Grace Notes, she has a beautiful fabric club that you can join. I will link her website. It's a website down below, and you can join in. She does all different sizes and cuts. Let me just show you. Now, you're going to be like, what happened? So right here, she sent me, this one was, pretty sure this was March's color. This was called Frog Prince. And it's funny, I've seen a couple people show it, and it's interesting how they're all different colors. So this is what my frog prints looks like. I get mine in 36 count linen, and her modeling is just beautiful. Now you can see I've cut a piece out right here. I used it for a special stitch that unfortunately I can't share with you until the end of July. So it's going to be a TBD on what that is, but I immediately knew when it came in the mail. I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect for this and stitch. So that's what I've done, but it's this beautiful, beautiful piece of 36 count linen, and I appreciate Corinne and her team. So you can see the frog print. It's got a little bit of green. So some people's greens, it's more evident, and some people is more greeny gray and more purpley. So everybody's is a little bit different, which is so great with the hand dyeds. So like I said, she does Ada, she does linen, she does Lugana, and she does every count under the sun, as you can see from her card. Those are the 4 different kinds, as well as look at all those numbers. She goes from 14 to 56. Holy moly. It's a monthly club. You can join. Like I said, I will link her down below. So that was a beautiful piece of fabric that came in since I was here last. I know everybody, I love to see fabrics. So that was one that came in. What else? We're just going to go through the stack real quick. This is also something that came in. Now, I am part of the Queen City Sampler Guild, which is a sampler guild in Ohio. It's a 30-year anniversary this year, this year. And so they commissioned an exclusive chart from Plum Street. So Paulette from Plum Street was asked 2 years ago to design an exclusive chart. Now you can't get this. This is exclusive, like I said, to the guild, but it is so, so sweet. Look at that. I love the sheep. Oh my gosh, so, so sweet. So this is a cute stitch. It's 125 by 125, so it's not that big, which is manageable. So that came in. I am waiting. We were able to order like a full kit from Keepsakes with the floss and the fabric. The called for, I think, is a needle and flax, Dolly Madison. So I'm just waiting for my kit to arrive before I can start that one. And to be honest, I've got Market Mania, so it won't be starting anytime soon. This was another chart that came in. My sweet friend Fairy, who found me the Consider the Lilies in the meantime, as I was waiting, so sweet. The Eyes on the Sparrow, which is the companion piece for Consider the Lilies. She got that one ordered for me. So when I whip that one up real quick, like, I can just go ahead and stitch right this one, right? It's beautiful. I can't wait to add it to my stash. One day I will get that done. And then this one was in my pile. I cannot believe I didn't show this to you last time. My sweet friend Alicia, the Fanciful Flamingo, she was ordering something, and she's like, okay, I ordered you something. I don't even know what it was. I think it was just to gift. Oh, so sweet. Love her. So she's like, we're going to start Jessie. And of course, everybody's seen this. This is the exclusive from the attic. Jessie Chellenor comes in 2 different colorways, prim and bright. Can you guess which one Alicia got for me? She sure did. She got me the bright. Look at those beautiful silks. So this is one of those treats upon treats. I mean, just... Sorry, I'm not going to take them out of plastic because right now they're all pretty. But look how bright those brights are. Oh my goodness. And it's stitched on a beautiful piece of Mason linen. And if you know, remember from my Consider the Lilies, I love the Mason linen. So this is a beautiful kit that I am saving. Now, what am I saving it for? Let me just pull. Yeah, here we are. Now, if you've been around, this was in January, I came up with this fun little PDF because I love a good chart. I love a good cross off. I love a good do the list. So this was my Stitchy goals for 2025. I broke it down into all these different bubbles. There's 50 different bubbles. For each 10 bubbles circled, colored in, I earn a new start. So I have 5 big girl starts. And so you can see this was my Consider the Lilies. I had 10. I started Consider the Lilies. I'm going to tell you, Jessie, sweet, sweet Jessie, although she's not a big girl, she is beautiful and special nonetheless. She's going to be my number 2 bubble. So I am only 4 slashes into, so I've got some work to do. Anniversaries on the Heart is going to be my Achilles heel. I'm just not being called to finish that in 2025, so I might zig and zag. I give myself the prerogative to do that. Animal Crackers, that's where I am excelling, as well as the Peacorn. The Peacorn and the Animal Crackers, they are calling to me here in 2025, and that's what I'm going with. Haven't worked on any Christmas ornaments anytime lately. I did have one stitch whip finish. That was the Hannah Rome with the red one. Fully finished that whip this April. So I was able to color in that bubble. So March and April was Frankie, aka Theodore, Millie, a Peacorn bubble, and a whip finish. So not too bad for 1 month. I'm ahead of the game. Not that there's any rules or regs. I just like to keep myself, hold myself accountable. Oh, these Achilles heels for the anniversaries of the heart. I wish it called to me more, but that's okay. It's a hobby. I love to do what I do. So I think Jessie is going to be my treat for bubble number 2. I'm going to save her. She's going to be ready to go. She's fully kitted, so that's awesome. I just have to earn her, and that's okay. So, and last but not least, I did a little de-stash diving, collecting, as one does when you're sitting there and you're scrolling all the things. I was in the D-Stash group and happened to fall upon See a kit that came up right when I happened to be there at the right time, right place, right time. So I didn't have this one. I thought it would be perfect. Now, in true transparency, if again, with that worksheet, my Stitchy goals, I also did a worksheet called my Nifty 50, which means I want to have 50 new starts for next year. I haven't kitted up one. Nope, sure haven't. That's okay, I got time. So I was like, well, if I buy them already kitted up, then yay, I get to check it off. So that's exciting. This is a chart I hadn't seen before. Welcome all hearts home. I just thought it was very, very sweet. 141 by 225. Wow, that's a lot bigger than I thought. You never know, right? So someone was selling this as a full kit with the DMC and a fabric. I'm not sure exactly what the fabric is. I don't know. We'll see. But it's really pretty. I don't know. We'll see if I stay called for. But anyway, I got that off the D stash as well as this one. Oh my gosh. She's so pretty. Jane Bannister. Now, Sean, Periwinkle Stitcher. She love her movies. Love her movies. So I love watching her progress on this when I've seen it a couple last episodes. And so she's what influenced me to grab this kit. It was sent with the fabric. Again, it looks like a mystery linen. Now let's see if I can see. Yeah, interesting. It doesn't have a Zweigart band. I don't know what this linen is, but that's okay. It's pretty. It's a little golden. It's way more golden than what the cover is, but that's okay. Whether I'm going to stitch the whole thing or not, TBD. But I love this rose basket. I love some of the motifs are super sweet. I thought they would be perfectly pulled out for a small, like this floral basket right here. I'm telling you, this would be such a sweet little basket just as a small. Now you can see, you can't see this. The basket is actually checkered, but the two floss colors, you can't even see that it's checkered. So I will probably dial up the variegation between the two different colors so that patchwork basket would actually show. So those are two things that I got on the Steve stash. While I was gone, Fat Quarter Shop sent me a great bundle of things to share with you. A little bit of stitching, a little bit of quilting, but then we're going to switch back to Market Mania. So let me show you some of the things that Fat Quarter Shop has sent along. This is so sweet. This is called the Pennyberry Farm series. This is the second one. Their first one was this, like, you know, a hen and a chicken. It's so sweet to be stitching on these bags. So I love that sheep one. I'll save the quilting ones for the later portion of the program. The other one is the stitch cards. These are the Prairie series. So sweet. And then the next one is the violets. This is, I think, second or third in these little postage stand floral series. So I'm saving those series. We'll do a big giveaway of the whole series later on in the year when the series is complete. But those are some great new patterns on Fat Quarter Shop. They're all going to be linked down below. And thank you so much for sending them. Okay, let's dive into Market Mania. Because again, we're staying with stitching. Now, I put it in this basket. I want a pretty box. I need to go to like one of those box stores. Anyway, but until then, it's going to live in this wire basket. And here it is. This is Market Mania. Now, if you were here last time, you know I shared some of the things I got at Market. I shared what I was going to be doing, some of my favorite stitches. I didn't share all my charts. I didn't share all my linen. Maybe someday soon I'll bring those back and share with you, just because I think linen eye candy is something that is always fun to watch any time of the year. And it might be a little bit easier to get now. So maybe I'll share that a little later. But until then, I'm going to talk about what I'm doing for Market Mania. Now, what that means. So I've done Mania a couple different ways over the years. Mania in the stitching world is done different ways. Some people do like a new start every day. I did that once for like the first 12 days, and then I like fizzled out and didn't do it again. Yep. So that wasn't my jam. And then there's a couple different groups that pick like one designer. I forget what her name is, but it begins with an M, and they do her charts during May, and it's super great. I love to watch them. I'm spacing, brain fog. I'm spacing on what her name was. But so Maynia has done different ways. Well, when I was at market this year, in March, I was just loving all the things. And I bought a whole bunch of stuff. And then I bought lots of duplicates of things because I wanted to share with my Patreon. That's one of the things where you couldn't go. And I was like, oh, how can I bring Patreon with me? And so I bought a bunch. But then life, juggling balls, it all went to, in a handbasket. So anyway, I decided, well, phooey that. When I get back to it, which thankfully my timing was great, I could do it for May. I was like, I'm going to have a new start every week. Now, I'm not going to do a new start 12 days, like 1 through 12. That was too much. And I fizzled out and failed. I won't say I failed, but I fizzled out and I didn't complete and all the things. So let me set myself up for a little bit more success. I can have a new start once a week. Yes, I can totally do that. New start once a week, 1 weekend a month. There's 5 weekends in May. And so I decided 5 new starts. I'm going to start on Saturday every month or every week and then work on it. Maybe TBD, work on it all that week. And so when I come to you on the following Friday, I will have a week's worth of work in it. Maybe some of these are smalls, some of these are big girls that are going to be around for a while, but then some of my new starts are small where if it's like a tiny pillow or thing, I might be able to finish it in a week. So anyway, in true Tiger Lily fashion, as I showed you with my Stitchy Gold PDF, I love a good chart. I love a good checklist. I love a list. I love planning. It's like the left side and the right side of my brain. My brain has got all the sides. And so I love a good plan. And my planning list has to be pretty. And so it didn't take that long, but I wanted to make myself, I was like, I could just pull out my calendar, which I have one of those book a days, but it's not book a days-esque. And I could just plan in there. But I didn't want to plan in there. I wanted a pretty pink and teal calendar dedicated to Market Maynia. So if you're like me, and this is a freebie chart on my Patreon, and you can go and just download this PDF, print it out, and join it. So it's just the May calendar. It's not that hard, but it's just the May calendar. It says Market Maynia. It's got a bunch of checklists on the sides. It's got notes for me down here. And then I identified, like I said, I'm going to have a new start every Saturday. There's 5 Saturdays in May. And I'm going to have a new start. Now, I might intermingle some finishing in there. I might intermingle maybe a Zoom stitch with me, a live with me. All of this will be done through Patreon. And what that means is also in my Patreon, I'm going to be doing weekly giveaways. So like I said, when I was at market, I wanted to share and bring you along. Well, how could I do that? We could kit things up for you. And so I am going to go through right now my 5 new starts and show you what I've got for you. And so like I said, there's going to be 5 weekly giveaways exclusive to Patreon, where every week I'm going to be giving away, it's not a full kit. None of them are full kits, but they're going to be the chart plus, meaning sometimes it's a chart plus the linen, sometimes it's the chart plus the floss, sometimes it's the chart plus the finishing fabric. So it's a chart plus per week as a giveaway for you to stitch along with me. Okay. Without further ado, let's just jump in. Now, I did keep them, as you can see, my little chart. So these are my 5 new starts. I've packaged them up in these really fancy Amazon. I will link them down below. They're like my favorite. I don't have enough project bags. You would think as a project bag maker, I would have enough. And I should just take an afternoon and make myself 5 pretty May project bags. Oh, but I won't. I'll just be honest, I won't. And so these are my 5 new starts. And then these are all the giveaway stuff right here. Okay. So let's just start with week 1. So Saturday, the first Saturday in May. What am I starting? Hold on, let me pull. This is so fun. Okay, so things are falling. My first Saturday is Mary Cook. Now, I've shown you some of these already last time. So, and you've probably seen them before, but these are all new market releases. That's Market Maynia, right? So I am starting Mary Cook. Now I am doing Mary Cook, but I'm only doing this beautiful floral urn. Now, in true Tiger Lily fashion, I have twisted them all, which means I've either changed the fabric or the floss or the finishing or what I'm stitching or whatever it is. Nothing is to chart. That's just how I roll. And so this one is Mary Cook, Antique Needleworkers, Shelley's Chart. This is, I'm stitching mine on, okay, so this is what I'm doing. I have to remember, I kitted these up early in the week, last week sometime. Okay, so there's 2 twists on this one. One is I changed the floss and the other is I changed the fabric. So as you can see, she's a beautiful, beautiful urn. And let me see, I'm sure it's in gas because that's her favorite. Yes, gassed. So Shelley charts all of these in gas and there's 2 weeks. So there's 9 total floss colors. I don't know how many are up here versus down here. It doesn't really matter. I pulled a different floss conversion as well as fabric. So let's talk about fabric first. And I have serged it. So yes, I am stitching my urn, my floral urn, on this beautiful 36 count. Sorry, I don't have it on a design board. We'll put it on a pretty, oh, and pops so much better. This is a piece of 36 count. Where's my tracker card? I can tell you exactly what Leanne calls it. Forbidden Fiber Co. Strawberry Cheesecake. This was one of her, I believe, exclusive for Market Colors or new to Market Colors. Definitely new in 2025. She had this whole like ice cream series, I think. So sweet. But it's this beautiful peony baby, but it's not like sweet baby girl pink. It's like a beautiful, beautiful pink. Anyway, so that I'm stitching my urn on pink, as well as I had to put it in this sweet little bag that Shelley had made me and gifted me for some reason. And what I pulled, and these are hard to display because, as we talked before, Vicki Clayton and her spools, I pulled 7 Vicki Clayton. I didn't want to speak out of turn. So if you stitched Ann Richardson with me back in 2024 and you got the Vicki Clayton silks, right? The pinks and the reds and the greens and the blues and the whites. All but one. Okay. All but one of those. These are the spools from that stitch, except for this pink. This pink right here, this little peony pink, which actually might not even work on the fabric, to be honest with you. That peony pink is from the Giant Pear House Vicki Clayton silk that I did for Alicia's birthday. But just pull a different one from stash. But if you have the other Vicki Claytons from this stitch and you want to stitch the urn with me, that's what I am doing. So I keep the spools in this bag. I'm trying it out. It's fun. Usually I keep my spools in this plasticky thing from Hobby Lobby. Goodness, things are more fun. But I thought it'd be super fun. Shelley's bag, Shelley's chart. So fun. Okay, hold on. I'm all over the place. Okay, so that is Mary Cook. And what I have for you on Patreon is, of course, the chart, as well as, hold on, I don't want to show you the chart. I have cut you a piece of the gorgeous strawberry cheesecake linen. So you can match me. It's sized for the urn only. So if you wanted to stitch the whole thing, use your own fabric and use this for something else. But if you want to stitch just the urn, I've got that. So that's week 1's giveaway, is the beautiful chart. Hold on, I'm trying to keep myself organized. The beautiful chart and the Forbidden Fiber Co. linen. Now, I will link Leanne down below if you guys want to go grab some of that pink linen. It is so, so pretty. I almost wanted to kit it up like a couple different times during this Market Mania, but I didn't. Okay, so that was week 1. That's Saturday, week 1. So week 2, what am I doing? Velvet to linen. So like I said, I will come to you every Friday and tell you guys what I'm going to be starting. This is next week, right? I don't know. What's today? 23rd? Maybe. No, we're 2 weeks away. You got plenty of time. So if you're any of these you want to stitch with me, go grab them. I will link what I can down below, and you can grab the chart and start with me, or start your own. That's the great thing about Market Media. Start what you want. You don't have to have new charts. You could do WIPS. You could do whatever you want. Anyway, my week 2 is my Market Dream Team, my favorite one for Market. And I went into detail on this last time, so I'm not going to go exhaustingly into detail today. If you want more deep diving into the story of how I got here, check out last month's video, the last video. But this week 2 is Velvet to Linen. Now I chose this one for week 2, because it's Mother's Day weekend, and I was like, oh, that looks like Mother's Day, doesn't it? It's so pretty. So I've got a beautiful chart in there. I did a full, like I said, this is the story I told last episode. full Gloriana Silks conversion versus the MPI full called for. And then I went to my stash and I auditioned and found the perfect fabric to just make those flosses pop. And I feel like it is the dream fabric compared to the cover photo. Now, I don't know. This was part of the Fabric of the Month Club from Grace Notes Fabric. I don't know exactly how quickly she releases them to the public, but you can see. Can you see? Oh, it's like now this is stitched on Grace Notes Almond Milk, which I don't have, but I thought this ginger was just, because my Glorianas, I punched up the colors a little bit as I do. It's so fabulous. Oh my gosh. Oh my, can I wait till the second week to start? We shall see. We shall see. I loved kitting this up. So like I said, this was a Grace Notes fabric. It's 36 count. It's the colorway ginger. If that's something that you want to grab, maybe message Corinne at Grace Notes and ask her how it works. I don't know exactly. Maybe I'll tell her that's what I'm doing. Maybe. I just think it's the perfect. Of course, I think the called for, the almond milk, would be beautiful. And that, I'm sure, is a color that you can order directly from Grace Notes and use. But that is week 2. Now, with the week 2 giveaway, it is not that chart, because when I was at market, that chart actually sold out before I grabbed it. Alicia was so kind and gifted me hers that she got before Kathy sold out. So I wasn't able to buy 2 of those velvet to linen charts. So instead, what I have that week is I have 2 daily reminders. I did get a couple of these extra. So I have mine that I'm stitching that I showed you guys earlier on my WIPS. And I have 2 daily reminders to share with you on Patreon. So that's the giveaway on Patreon that week. Okay, week 3, Strawberry Thieves. So this, as I told you guys before, such a fun, sweet, sweet chart. I kitted this up, kind of doing called for, inspired, doing my own little floss conversion. I don't want to, let me see, do I have a tracker card in here? Maybe, yes I do. Okay, good. So this is Quaint Rose Needle Arts. This is, I'm stitching mine on 36 count needle bling marshmallow fluff. It's this creamy white with a pink undertone. The pink isn't really showing, but it's got a little bit of pink, a little bit of cream. I thought it looked perfect with these charts. I think I put a fat quarter. I put a 13 by 17. So a little fat eighth would be plenty to do these, 1, 2, 3 of these charts. I don't know which one I'm going to start first, but that is week 3. And so with week 3, I've also got yours kitted with the same 36 count needle bling marshmallow fluff. So that is super fun. Week 4, I'm going to say week 4 for it's my favorite. Well, one of my favorites. I love them all, but then, okay, we'll come back. Week 5. Now we'll just do week 4. Okay, week 4. Here's my project bag. And as you can see, what in the world are you stitching? Yes. I am stitching a Study in Garden Fairies. This is from the Artsy Housewife. It is beautiful in yellows and golds and oranges. And I love orange. Yellow's not my jam. And so what I decided, and I talked about this a little bit more last time too, is I did a full floss conversion, a full, not just floss, but like color, changed it all conversion. So I am stitching this on a 36 count Fiber on a Wing Cafe au lait. The fabric is 13 by 17 and it will finish, it's a 157 by 247. That's as is. We're doing the border. Now I'm not going to stitch the border. I'm just stitching the flower and the butterfly, leaving the border off. There's just not, I want to stitch that time somewhere else. I did a full Treen Way silk conversion. So what that means is not only did I change it, she calls for Classic Colorworks, Gentle Arts, and DMCs. Beautiful. If you like the golds, that's awesome. This is my fabric. This is the Fiber on a Wing Cafe au lait that I have pulled out and serged and cut to size. And hold on, so that way it doesn't show you. I did a full floss conversion. So my flower is going to be shades of pinks, and my butterfly is going to be pinks and purples with a pop of orange and yellow. And then instead of browns, it's going to be greens. Anyway, I don't have a one-for-one conversion. This is kind of like I'm going to stitch as I go, but these are beautiful Treenway silks that I had in my collection. They're 10 yards, hand-dyed silk strand, 6-stranded silk floss. Beautiful, hand-dyed in Colorado. She was a beautiful vendor that I met at last year's market. And so I was waiting for the opportunity, and I was able to pull from that collection and kit this up. I can't wait to stitch with those. I had some of those in red silk, and there's actually still some in my shop right now. If you wanted to give Treenway silks a try, I had kitted up the Crown Family Sampler with the red. So you can grab that on my website. I still have some of those left. Let me put this back together before I get all disheveled. And so for you that week, I have the chart as well as the 36 count cafe au lait. I need to put this back in my card. The cafe au lait fiber on a win linen. And it's cut, so if you wanted to stitch the border, you could, but you don't have to. But it's a full piece that's big enough to do the whole thing on 36 count. So that's week 4. And then week 5, last but not least, is going to be the adorable. You've seen it everywhere. How have I waited this long to start it? It is this sweet, sweet velvet pink pear needle book from Stacy Nash. Beautiful. I pulled another Grace Notes fabric. What's this one called? Brown Sugar Boba. It was super, super sweet. I thought it looked great. I'm going to pick the thing with the modeling is you can kind of pick and choose which areas you want because it's not a very big piece. I went to my scraps first. I didn't have a scrap that I liked. So I'm going to choose an area that's a little less modeled. I did pull some floss. The rest I'm going to pull from my animal cracker ring. But I do have the Lady Dot Creates Rhubarb, the velveteen you need to finish that sweet stitch. That one, I think I can finish the stitch in like no time at all. Now, whether I can finish the whole thing, still TBD on what that is. But on Patreon that week, I do have 2 kits for you guys. I have the chart and the rhubarb for the giveaways that week as well. So I am super excited about Market Mania. So as you can see, like I said, I've got 5 Saturdays, 5 new starts, a weekly giveaway. Every week during the month of May, I am going to put in some fits and spurts of other things, mix and mingle as we go. It's just about having fun, kind of reinvigorating your stitching. It's fun to have new starts. It's fun to start together. It's fun to do the things. So if you are like me and you love a pretty chart, grab this PDF, print it out, fill it out. Let me know what you are doing. Are you doing Market Mania? Are you doing like WIPS? Are you doing a 1-stitch focus? Are you doing a focus a week? Are you doing 12 new starts? Are you doing 31 new starts? Those people, wow. I think that's the stitching. Let's dive into some quilting first because that's what I've been working on most recently. Now, if you've been around a while, you know that I love to get the Sew Sampler box. It is a great box from Fat Quarter Shop. It is my go-to. I love it's like a special treat that I ordered for myself that I get every month. Now, I need to get back to actually sewing some of the quilts that come in it, which I have only done 1 or 2. But in the last 12 months, so yes, I have gotten it for 12 months now, you were getting the Peaceful Baskets quilt. What they were doing is there is a 1 block, it's like a block, quilt-along block in every box for the last 12 months, and it was the Peaceful Baskets quilt. Now, like I said, if you watch Kimberly Jolly, you've seen it. She's done all the things. That she did it with the Camille Ross Kelly beautiful, like blues and greens, and I forget what the line was called, but it sold out real quick like. I changed mine to a collection called Heartfelt from Riley Blake. It is now sold out, so I can't link it. But it was a beautiful collection of reds and pinks. And so this past weekend, I hunkered down and I cut I had 6 blocks of done. up until now. And then this weekend I cut 6 and then I sewed the 6. So I do want to show you all 12 blocks just because it's fun. And then I'm almost done. So they're not in any order. I'm sure they're not in block order, but it's just fun to see the different blocks. And you can see they're all going to come together real quick. They weren't hard, but I loved being able, oh, there's 2. I loved being able to just switch it to a fat quarter collection. Now, in true transparency, I did, I think I needed 2 fat quarter bundles of the colorway I chose. But this is just to tell you that you don't have to do the called for. If, you know, blues and greens aren't your thing and reds and pinks are, choose a fat quarter from your stash. Choose a fat quarter bundle or 2 that you have loved, or just buy yardage. You could have used all the same, or you could make it totally scrappy. So I have 12 blocks finished. And they're a lot easier. Like I said, I cut all 6 on one day. I feel like it was so much easier to cut once. Cutting, I think, is half the battle. The other thing is, hold on, I don't want to show you the secrets, but this is how it comes together. So you can see I do have a little more quilting to do because there's like a sawtooth star in between as the cornerstones. Can't just be a cornerstone. It's got to be a sawtooth star. So I have those all cut. Here they are on my design board, which is how I love to do it. I have all, this is my binding. These are the cornerstones. This is like 200 2-inch squares or something. It's a little over the top, but, and I started to work on the half square triangles. Flying geese. And so anyway, I'm working those. Now, if I had just another weekend day, I could probably get this quilt put together. So that is the progress I've made on the Peaceful Baskets, which was the Sew Sampler box. Now, while we're talking Sew Sampler, let's just do this, shall we? So this is what the Sew Sampler box looks like. I just want to make sure I show you my address. It comes like this from Fat Quarter Shop. It's this sweet little, there it is. This was, I'm sure it's March. Yes, it's March. So let's just see what's in the March box. I did open it, but let me show it to you real quick. So it's called Spring Revival. Reading backwards is not my favorite. Waterfall quilt pattern. So it always comes with a quilt pattern. Sometimes I love them, sometimes I don't. But this one's super cute. So this one does, what's in your box is a 10-piece fat quarter bundle. And then you just have to add your creamy background and then your binding. Well, that's pretty fabulous. So you just need to add the 3 1/8 yard of the white. Super fun. So let's look. Oh, I didn't even open it. So this is a Riley Blake. It's very springy. So the name is correct. It's beautiful peaches and teals. So spring. Look at those spring colors. So there's the, that would be a nice binding. Low volume, low print. And then there's a big one here. So that's a 10-piece fat quarter bundle, super cute, as well as it came with, now last time, the February box came with an exclusive Olfa cutter. That was a beautiful fat quarter shop, like corally color. Look at this one. Now they gave you a refill blade, so that's fun. There's also iron cleaner. Now I do have a tried and true iron cleaner that I love because I iron all the time, so I need to use it. I've never tried this brand, but I'm excited to give it a whirl. And then there's a mini pink vacuum, which I have just poured on. Can you hear? Now I gotta take it out of the bubble wrap to turn it off. It's a little mini pink vacuum. Oh, okay, got a little power button right here. So it goes on your mat. Very cute. I wish I had one that I could use in my sewing machine. That's my favorite. Cleaning out the lint in your sewing machine. Interesting. So that's what is in the Sew Sampler box this month. It comes monthly. The value is really super great. Oh, there it is. There's the Peaceful Baskets. I'm not telling you anything, am I? No. So there's the Peaceful Baskets all finished. Oh, I'm so close. That's going to be so cute. See the blues and the greens? There it is. So that was the last one. Oh, what was in this box was the finishing instructions. I was like, why is that pictured here? The finishing instructions. So you get 12 blocks, and then this month you got the finishing instructions. So it told you how to do those Sawtooth Star corner blocks and put it together. So that's super fun. So I need to get that done. So that was the March box. So, and I know my April box is already shipped. So I need to hop on it. Like I said, I have, well, I can see 3 boxes right now that are over there with the quilts and the kits and the things that are ready to go. Oh, I need to take that pattern back out. I won't in the world know where it is if I don't keep it with my tray. Where'd that tray go? Somewhere good. So that is the, it's right under here. Oh, fog brain. So that was the quilting that I sewed. And then I also, from Fat Quarter Shop, I am in their Ruby Star Society quarterly club bundle. This also comes with a quilt pattern, but it's all about the Ruby Star. I love Tula, Ruby Star. So fun. I mean, look at those brights and pinks. So this is the 3rd one I've gotten. I've never actually sewn with one, so at some point I either need to let the subscription go or start using said fabrics, because right now I'm just in collecting mode. It's kind of like stitching. But that is a beautiful, that was the April comic cup. That's a quarterly club. Now my last piece of quilting share. Yeah. When did I finish this? I don't know exactly when I finished this. The Swoon Along, the Swoon 16 Swoon Along was a quilt along that I did with some of my friends, Jodie and Felicia, and then there's some friends who are still behind, Jessica, Nicole, Allie. I can't remember exactly who all did it, but there's Rika, I think, is doing it. So there's a lot of friends. Jodie made us this fun little tag. I do have to find my tag so I can sew it on. She made us this fun little label. It was a 16 block Swoon Along. It was in the fall sometime. It was supposed to be done by Christmas. Mine was done almost done by then. I switched mine. I didn't do, some people did Christmas fabric. Some people were doing other swoons. I think Jodie did like the Swoon 9. She had bigger blocks she had started. I did mine with the Tilda Sanctuary bundle. It came out in the fall. I loved it. The fall colors, the plums and the mauves and the greens and the whatevers. I forget, and the blues. Beautiful. So I had the quilt top. I added it to my quilt top. I probably have 5, 8 quilt tops in a stack of quilts that need to be long arms. Now, I do have a long arm, so I could long arm this myself. I don't have the fancy schmancy, put it on, push a button and the computer does it long arm. I have the kind of budget long arm where you have to drive it yourself and you have to do all the things, which is fine, except there's only so many hours in the day. And like I said, I have, I don't know, 5 to 10, they're in a stack ready to go. And I choose to do other, like I have to make a choice when I have free time. What do I have to choose what I want to do? And so my friend Lori Milsap from Island Time Quilting. Now, they have a floss tube. She has a floss tube with her daughter. They're adorable. I've been watching them since like video 1. Super cute. She's a long armor. Now, when I went down to Clemson in the fall, we had talked about it, and she told me what long arm. I was this close to buying a computerized long arm. Like I need another thing to do and another thing to learn. But I was just like, I want this. It's so fun. And so there was one in Greenville, South Carolina, where I was going to go there and learn how to use the machine. Anyway, it didn't happen. Is the moral of the story. I didn't do that. So many other things. And I need, long arms are huge. They're like 20 feet long. And you have to have a whole separate room for them. I don't have a separate room for them right now. That's not within my bandwidth. And so Lori reached out to me. She is a long arm quilter that's her hobby profession. I don't know if it's her profession, but she does it for other people as a business. And she reached out to me and said, if you ever wanted to send it out as I'd be happy to be your long armor. And sometime like right before I went in for surgery, I was like, yeah, we're going to do this. I want this quilt. And I don't know when I'm going to be standing at the long arm machine that I have. So I sent it away, and I am so excited that I did. I sent it to Lori. She was beautiful. Like I said, I will link her down below. She's a beautiful long armor. She was so wonderful to work with. I sent her my quilt top for me, and then she said, listen, if it were me, because it's fall autumnal colors, you want it to be like a cuddly. This is like a winter, fall, like it's cold weather quilt. This is not like a, ooh, throw it on in the summer or spring quilt. This is winter. And so she's like, I love, this is called, it's a Shannon Cuddle fabric. So I will link this fat quarter shop down below. It's a wide, minky style cuddle backing is what Lori recommended. And I bowed down to the professionals, and so I picked, you can see I picked this beautiful purple that just matches like some of the purples in the quilt perfectly. No, that's not purple. There's a purple. It matches this purple like it was made to. And so I just ordered that from Fat Quarter Shop and sent it directly to Lori. And so the backing went to Lori. I sent the quilt top to Lori, and then like, I don't know, 2, 3, it was all a blur. And then one day, a beautiful box arrived, and I was blown away. Now, I have not bound it yet because I haven't sewn my binding. I haven't picked my binding. I haven't made the binding, and so thus I haven't sewed it on the quilt yet. So she left it raw for me because the only thing with Minky is that it does make a mess when you cut it, right? So she did not cut it. She left that fun for me, which is fine. So I do need to trim it and add the binding. So it's not fully complete, but it is quilted and beautiful. And so we worked together. She let me pick my pantograph, and that's the difference. When I long arm, it's just free, what I call free motion, like wavy, maybe squiggly, wiggly, I don't know, but it's just a free motion. And so I wanted to take advantage of the pantograph, and I chose the Baptist fan. You can see it much better on the back. Look at that. And it's beautiful, beautiful. I don't remember exactly the size of this quilt. I wish it was big enough to fit on my bed because, well, not in the summertime, but it's gorgeous. This is going to be the quilt that people fight over to cuddle under when it's cold because it is so warm and toasty, and the quilting is beautiful. Lori was fantastic. So if you have some quilt tops languishing, turn them into quilts. You did all the work to make the quilt tops. Send it to Lori. She's a beautiful quilter. Her machine, her work is gorgeous. She was so professional, and we just messaged back and forth. Like I said, I sent it to her, sent this directly. Oh, it was the best experience ever. Now I just have to figure out the rest because I might not stand behind my long arm anymore. Why would I when I can just send it to Lori and she sends it back and it's beautiful? That is not my favorite part of the quilt. Like, why would I do that part when I can make another quilt top, which is the fun part, and just send that away and then I get the quilt? Oh, it's so fun. So I have to decide, like this baskets quilt, I don't know if I want it to be minky or if I'm going to do it or what I'm going to do. But she's beautiful. I will link her down below. Tell her that tell her the Tiger Lily sent you. She, like I said, fabulous long arm. She's in North Carolina, and it was lickety split, easy peasy, wonderful to work with. So that is my quilting. Now let's talk knitting. I did want to show you 3 more quilt patterns that Fat Quarter Shop had sent that I think are super cute. So look at this, Bramble Blossom. Now this is a quilt pattern that comes in actually 3 different sizes, which is super, super great. There's a crib size, a lap size, and a twin size. It is fat quarter friendly when you do the crib or the lap size, which is super great. I actually have like 20 or so fat quarters left over from that Peaceful Baskets collection, because remember I ordered 2 different fat quarter bundles so that I could piece the baskets, so I didn't use all the fabric. So I might make this one with the leftovers. So this would also be super fun if it was just scrappy and then you use the cornerstones and the sashing as just like a neutralizer. Super sweet pattern. And then this one I want to start immediately. I think it's adorable. It's called Not Today. It looks super complicated, but I've already opened the pattern. It is not. Looks can be deceiving, which is my favorite kind of quilt, where it looks like you made, like it was super complicated, but it's not. It's charm pack friendly. So you need 3 charm packs, which I have a collection of charm packs like nobody's business. Now, whether I have 3 of the same style, I will have to go digging to see. If not, it's a perfect reason to go buy 3 charm packs, which are super affordable, of my favorite, and then just add a neutral. And it measures 53 by 68. And my quilting bug is like back like nobody's business right now. And this last one is so sweet. It's called Fetch. It looks like little dog bones. It's 45 by 46. So those are sweet little quilt charms that Fat Quarter Shop sent. Now, before we moved on to knitting real quick, like I wanted to do, I have 2 giveaways for today's video, just because they're here. I think it's fun. I want to get back to doing more video giveaways. And so it's like a giveaway / pass the stash. So these are 2 finishes that I showed you today. One is the note. So these are both my personal copies. I don't write on my copies. I just stitch from them and move on. So I just pass the stash kind of giveaway. Note of love. So use the keyword love in your comment if you want to be entered to win this chart by running with needles and scissors. And then use the keyword frog. I would say lily, but sometimes you can spell lily wrong. So let's use the word frog if you want to be entered to win the lily frog. So, you know, those are 2 finishes that I have. I thought it'd be super fun to give those away. As always, you need to be a subscriber of the channel, like the video, and comment down below to be entered into the giveaways. So, like I said, last but not least, we're going to dive into my knitting. Now, I gathered all my knitting, because what happens when you're gone for a month, you got a little bit to show and tell, show and share, right? So first, let's talk about a new bag I made, because when you're going to go into the hospital and you're going to be there for an undetermined amount of time, I wanted to bring knitting. Now, I ended up not being able to knit in the hospital because of where they placed my IV, which was I almost wanted to say, can you put it somewhere else? I need to knit. But I didn't want to be that bougie, high maintenance of a patient. So I didn't ask them to move my IV so I could knit. But before I went, I had plans of knitting something, knitting away. Mindless knitting while I was just laying there. So the night before, I wanted to make myself something as well as have my babies with me. It was an emotional time, right? So as you know, both my babies are at Clemson right now. And so this was a old Clemson t-shirt. I have a bucket or 2 of Clemson t-shirts, sweatshirts, outgrown, outworn, out things. It doesn't matter, but I have a collection. So I went to my collection. I pulled out one of my favorites. This was a tie-dye special. Lily actually has the matching shirt. She still wears it down in Clemson. So I felt that she was there with me. Anyway, I'm a little over the top. So this is just my drawstring. It's like my crumb bag tutorial, which I don't even have a crumb bag. Well, here's my bigger crumb bag. It's my crumb bag tutorial that I will link down below. It's a tutorial as well as a PDF. It's the crumb bag pattern, but without the crumbs. As well as I did modify it. You can be like, no, that's not. It's a little taller because I changed the dimensions to suit the stitching or to suit the t-shirt. That's all it is. I lined my t-shirt with, I'm pretty sure this is 911. I have 2 different kind of interfacing that I have by the bolts here, and this is going to be 911. It's just a nice lightweight interfacing that I put on the back of the t-shirt to kind of remove the stretch. When you're working with t-shirts and the knit, the stretch is like your enemy. So if you add a nice lightweight 911 interfacing, the enemy is gone. And then I do 2 drawstring channels up at the top. It's just orange and purple, and that's it. It's nothing rocket science, but I wanted a new start in there. So like I said, I knitted a new, I'm showing it to you, even though it's barely anything, because this was, before I got wheeled back, before I got taken out of the waiting room, before the IV was put in. That's what I got done. And then I didn't go back to it. But it's this beautiful yarn. Is the ball band? The ball band's inside. I went to my collection. I went to my stash. Have a little bit of yarn. This is fingering, in case you're ever wondering how. This shelf is all fingering. That's collection. I went to my stash, pulled out a One Skein Wonder. This is from, it's beautiful. It's from PK Yarns. She's someone I featured during Stitchmas 2 years ago. I will link her on Instagram if I can. And this is a colorway I'm sure you can't get anymore, but it's called Rainbow Raven. And it's just a beautiful rainbow. And of course I wanted something happy and cheery, and that's what I picked. Now, as you can see, as I showed you, I didn't get very far. So that's just what's in the bag. And that's okay. It'll be great for later. This right here, I have 3 of them, I think. These are my favorite sock stitch markers. Now, I'm going to tell you who made them to me, and she's probably going to curse me because she doesn't sell them. She just gifts them as friends. My friend Lisa Duffin. What is her? She's a Flosstube channel. I will link her down below. I forget what it is, but I met her at StitchCon last year. She is the sweetest person. When we were stitching it, knitting it, she says, I made these markers and I'm going to send you some. She sent me 3, I think. They're my favorite. They're on all 3 of my socks. I have 3 different sock bags in progress. I brought 2. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite sock stitch marker. It's just a nice tight. I use a 9-inch circular. I'm a 9-inch circular sock knitter. I use a 1.5 Chai-Gu. I use the stoppers. I use Lisa's markers. I do a 2x1 cuff for about 12 to 15 rounds, and then I start the multicolored and I let the yarn be the star of the show. That's my vanilla knitting. Let's see. I pulled out another stitch bag. So this one, same thing. Here's another one of my Lisa specials. This one I showed you guys last, but I got some mindless knitting down by the river over the weekend. We went and sat by the Potomac River, and I just sat in a chair and listened to the water lap up on the rocks and knit for like an hour, and I was so happy. So I thought I was to the point where the toe is, but I'm not. I'm about an inch away from the toe. I need to find a better way to measure that when I'm on the go. So that one, that's the yarn we picked up at Bliss Yarns. So that's a little update. The bigger update is my sweater. Now my sweater, my Clemson sunglasses. I've been looking for those. It must have been when I was knitting by the river. Okay, so my sweater, my newest sweater is the Crea Bay. It's by the Crea Bay Design. It's the Kintra DK. The Kintra DK is written for up to 24 colors. So if you got an Avent, this yoke can be a 24 color yoke. Now I did not do a 24 color yoke. I think mine ended up being like 9 colors, so it's a little bit of a repeat. Anyway, the yoke is done. I think I showed you guys that last time. Is this to a point where I can put it over my head? I don't know. I don't want to mess with my microphone, so I'm probably not going to. But I got this to the point of mindless knitting, which was my goal. So I had just split for sleeves. We're going to see if this fits. I think I should have gone up a needle size or 2. Oh, sorry, I'm probably covering my microphone. I should have gone up a needle size or 2 when I was doing the color work yoke, but this might just be a little more fitted around the shoulders. I think it will fit. It'll just be more fitted around the shoulders, but that's okay. And then, so I have just been body mindless knitting, round and round and round we go. The yarn looks so fabulous on the screen. It's more stripy on the screen than it is in person. Like, I don't see stripes at all when I'm looking at it. I don't see them, but I see them on the screen, but they're not in person. This is a beautiful yarn that I got at my local yarn store, which is called Fiber Space in Old Town Alexandria. I forget what it is. It doesn't really matter right now. I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But that is my work. I think I had just split for seams, and so in the last month I've done like 4 or 5 inches of body work. Could I have done more if I'd focused on it? Sure, but I was focusing on other things. I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of buying. Like I said, when I haven't even taken it out of the bag. I was hoping this one was going to come before this was going to be my
take to the hospital yarn, but it didn't come in time, but that's okay. I ended up ordering one for me, and it's this beautiful, look, she's a little candy. It's beautiful. It's Christine. Her shop is called Stitching with Yarn, hand dyed in Oklahoma. She has beautiful yarn. I've used her yarn many, many times. And then I had to get this hot pink mini skein because she had it, and it was just like calling to me not to go with this, although it would have gone perfectly with that. But this was the main skein. This is the heels, toes, and cuffs. It's going to be a great sock one day when it grows up. So that is my knitting. All right, friends, so we have a little bit of Tiger Lily shop updates, and then that's it. So I don't think this was as long as I thought it was going to be. I did pull some things out and save for next time just because I didn't want to overwhelm you coming back on video one, right? Okay, so we talked about Market Mania and Patreon and all the things. That's super exciting. So I hope you come and join me over there. Join me all the things, download the PDF, join the weekly giveaways. Either way, you'll be seeing it all month long during May. So that's exciting. So the other thing that is happening with Tiger Lily Shop is the April boxes went out last week before. They went out a little early because they were taking over the house, and so I just decided to ship them early. So hope that was a fun surprise for you. If you are in the club, you got your box a little early. Almost all, I think there's like 2% that are not delivered yet. Hopefully the gremlins don't grab them. If the gremlins do not grab them, there will be 8 extra boxes for sale. Those 8 extra boxes, this will not be a club subscription. Those will just 8 one-time purchase boxes will be available to my Patreon members once I get 100% confirmation that all the other boxes have been received and not gremlin taken. I save those for in case I need to ship out a replacement, right? So stay tuned. If that's one of those things you are interested in a one-time box, check out over there. The other thing to mark on your calendars, stay prepared for, get excited for, because I'm actually got my fingers on one right now, is the Advent boxes. It's on a keeper right now, not the boxes. But I am in full swing sewing both the July Keeper Club, which there will be some open spots, again, exclusive to Patreon, 24 hours, early access always. But the Advent box is what comes up next. My Advent box sales open on May 1st, noon Eastern. Noon Eastern, May 1st. Hashtag asterisk party time. 24 hours early access to Patreon. So what that means is on April 30th, noon Eastern, I will be posting a link to my Patreon with the exclusive password needed to grab your Advent boxes. There are a limited quantity, so I don't know. This is the first time I've had a Patreon exclusive early access opportunity. I don't know if they're going to sell out on Patreon. I'll just be real honest with you. It's a limited quantity. Once they're gone, they're gone. But that is what I do. It's my thank you, my way of thanking people for joining and being a part of my Patreon community as I give them 24 hours early access to every sale I do. And so April 30th, noon Eastern is when the password will launch on Patreon. So if you have seen, my Advent boxes are 12 days of Stitchmas. 12 days of Stitchmas means that there's 12 individually wrapped packages curated by me in a fabulous box. Now, for the last 2 years, I have done a 12 days of Stitchmas video series on YouTube. So if you want to go see some of the things, if you're like, what exactly is in your box? I can tell you that they're never all the same. The only thing that is the same for sure, lock solid, is there's a keeper. There's an exclusive fabric Christmas theme. It is Christmas theme fabric exclusive keeper is the only thing that is always in the box. But if you want to see some of the other things that I have included year over year, you can go watch the 12-day video series from 2024 or 2023. This will be my third year doing the Advent box. It is one of my favorite boxes, I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking and planning for 2026 and what exactly that means for Tiger Lily and what exactly I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to be changing things, because there will be changes coming. That's okay. Change doesn't have to be bad. Change is going to be great. The one thing that will not change is the Advent box. I love it. It is my favorite box to do. I love curating small business goodies, unique, one-of-a-kind, exclusive items for the box. So right now, I think I have over half the box full. The other half is already in negotiations, in work, in concept prototyping with exclusive designers to make it one of a kind for you. So again, there's going to be 12 individual packages in that box. They're all wrapped. You can open it with me daily if you want to, from December 1 through December 12. That's how I open them. Or you don't watch that video and open it for yourself under the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Open it yourself from the 13th to the 25th. I've had people do all kinds of different things, and I love it. So it's a great gift for you, a great gift for a Stitchy friend, whatever you want to do. It goes on sale, like I said, April 30th at noon for Patreon. And then whatever is left gets open to the public on May 1st noon. Last 2 years it hasn't sold out on day one, so don't freak, don't worry, but I can't guarantee it. I don't know. I never know how it's going to work. I never know what people are going to do. I know that it's Advent season, and there's lots of different choices in the world of Advent. There's yarn dyers, there's a lot of other stitching maker boxes, there's quilting boxes, there's stitching boxes, there's lots of different companies that do Advent boxes. So I appreciate it when you choose mine, but you do pick what you want. So I'm just one of the many choices. That, I think, is all I've got for Tiger Lily. Like I said, I'm just so excited. I'll be honest with you. I was giddy on Sunday when I could sit at the sewing machine for a couple hours. Now I did get up and walk. Like, I'm not gonna, don't worry, Mom. So, but for it to be back at the sewing machine, oh, it was so great. So I did a little happy sewing first. Now I'm gearing it, making keepers again, which I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love each and every one of you and all of the support you give me, whether it's a like, it's a comment, it's a club subscription, it's just a sweet card, it's just a sweet message, anything you do, just being a part of my Tiger Lily community. I appreciate you so, so, so very much. So until next time, friends, which, God willing, and hopefully no more balls get thrown at me, I'm done being a professional juggler. Let's be real. I'll be back next week. I really, really, really hope so. So until next time, friends, happy stitching.